Good afternoon and welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We've been coming to you live from the Singapore FinTech Festival. Joining me now is my colleague, Tony Seo. He's the Head of Exchange and Regulator Surveillance Solutions with the Market Tech Group over at Nasdaq. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It sounds like you have a lot going on with that title. Tell us about your role at Nasdaq.
So I look after the surveillance technology business at Nasdaq. So we provide systems that monitor and protect markets for over 50 exchanges and marketplaces around the world.
Wow. So can you tell us about cryptocurrency regulation, what the hotspots are right now, because that seems to be a really important topic in the industry.
So this has been an extremely interesting time, both from a financial and a technical innovation perspective. There are a large number of new platforms appearing, trading multiple different types of products, as well as tokenization of securities. And the real hotspot is how to regulate these marketplaces. At the moment, most of them are either unregulated or have the regulations being very unclear, right? And so my personal feeling is that all marketplaces, irrespective of if they need regulation or not, they need to focus upon investor protection. Right? So really that is the hotspot. How do these marketplaces that don't have explicit rules around regulation ensure that investors that are active on those marketplaces are protected and treated fairly?
Now, do you think that's why we're having a lot of hurdles to overcome when it comes to institutional adoption of cryptocurrency assets? I mean, our regulatory agencies are not believe investors are protected.
So definitely that's true. So a lot of these institutional investors, they're not only waiting for the regulation to come through, but even for marketplaces that are only marginally or partially regulated, those marketplaces need transparency. Right. They need solutions in place and prove to those institutional traders that the activity on those marketplaces is fair. So for example, is treatment of their funds, custody, there are many examples of this.
So when you look at the one thing that's needed the most in terms of market surveillance for the cryptocurrency market, would you say that transparency is key for what you're looking at?
Definitely. Transparency as well as adoption. Right? These marketplaces need to adopt the practices that have evolved in the financial markets over time. Many of the worst practices in financial markets transfer directly over to these new marketplaces. So they still need to cover those core types of behavior and ensure that the markets are fair and efficient.
Right. Do you think that this is something we're getting close, or that it's still going to take a little bit more time to work this out?
I think it's still going to take some time. A lot of these marketplaces, they're still developing, right? And I think the key is that although they're innovating on these new types of products, they need to consider these investor protection aspects at the start and not wait for regulation to come in.
Thank you so much, Tony, for joining us at the FinTech Festival. And thank you for joining me throughout the day. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.